Hi, everybody. It's Andra Anette here, and I'm here with a good friend of mine and a colleague, Bogdan Shuganov. And he is a cancer survivor, but our conversation is going to be about a lot of different things. You know, what it was like, his experience, his strength, and his hope, and how he found very natural elements to cure himself. Medicine today, if they don't see it in a book, and they tend to believe that if it doesn't come from a book, there aren't other better alternatives out there. And I use a lot of natural products in my own life, a lot of the ones this gentleman uses, and I believe they have a lot of benefits. So my goal today is that people that are coaches and in the medical field will have an open mind and look for other alternatives. Everything is not just black and white in medicine. So I'm going to interview this gentleman. I want to introduce you to him. This is Bogdan. Please give him a warm welcome. And again, let's all have an open mind. Hello, how are you today?
Morning, Andra. Thank you very much for inviting me to your group, to your audience. Let me say to your family, because we do create our family members by ourselves. And very thank you very much again for inviting me to let me share my own experience, exactly as you said, not got it from a book, got it from my own experience. So yes, I am a gastric cancer survivor. My tumor been removed in 2005. So now I celebrate every year my another birthday, I think. So based on such count, I am 17 years old. That's why I am very, very proud of myself. And as well, I also try to share my experience. I started my channel only in February this year, and I think it's very valuable to get information about certain natural ingredients, certain natural Mother Earth stuff, how we can stay alive. I mean, we people who got gastric cancer, with gastric cancer or with gastric cancer tumor removed, alive, I mean, on remission. I faced with a lot of challenges. I met with a lot of medical doctors. I've been unfortunately visited many traditional American medicine cancer treatment facilities. And what I learned is nowadays medicine does not target it post-operational period of time. There is no specific suggestion how to behave, how to live, what to consume, what not to consume. I start asking these medical doctors, why you don't provide me my path to the future? Yes, you got a good surgery, you remove everything, I am good, chemotherapy, everything was good, but what happened after that? Should I stay on my remission forever? I learned that cancer is not like a cold or flu sickness. It's not. Once you contract it, it stays with us forever. There is no clear etymology about how we got this cancer, because we do know that cancer happened in kids, cancer happened in 25 years old people, and cancer never got people in 90. That's why there is no certain natural causes or answers about why such cancers started. I know my cancer how it started. It started from my stomach polyps. And now for 17 years, I learned how these stomach and lower gut polyps converted into the cancer. So that a really story of individual people. because some people live with these polyps forever till the end last. And some people got contracted this cancer based on these polyps. On the next year, the polyps appeared. That's why, of course, I do my gastroenteral endoscopy and colonoscopy every year. I do check out my body. Same time, what I found and what I share with my gastroenterologist about this natural stuff that I decided to consume daily to live longer. It's a Manuka honey, it's a Shilajit, it's a Siberian cedar sap oleoresin, and bee propolis extra. And for each of such ingredients, I can talk to you by hours. I have not zillion, but a lot of articles been published in medicinal scientific magazines. So for those people who really interested to discover more, to drill deeply in such issue and to understand about science of all these Mother Nature ingredients, I'm completely open to share such information. I don't think we have to spend time and to listen such scientific names as dietary methylglyoxal, dehydroacetone, leptospirin, non-peroxide method. It's just becoming boring for people who are not familiar with such scientific or chemical status.
Bogdan, can I ask you something?
Yes.
We're talking about Manuka honey, and I want to just really re-endorse what you're saying about the Manuka honey. My brother-in-law, Peter Bernice, is very into his physical health, and he's the one that actually turned me on to Manuka honey. And this was before COVID and all that other stuff. And he was telling me that it has to have certain UMFs and things like that, and that I was using it incorrectly. When I first started using it, I was using it with a metal spoon, and that deactivates the enzymes. So can you tell me a little bit more about that? Like what someone, because do you raise bees yourself?
Oh, no. Manuka honey coming from New Zealand only. And I am from Brooklyn, New York, so we stay pretty much far away. Yeah, that's why I told you earlier, not for your audience, for yourself, that I flew around the globe. After I got my verdict, I decided to find those people living on planet Earth who has statistically zero or close to zero mortality rate from gastric cancer or from colon cancer. That's why I found New Zealand, because these Maori people, they consume Manuka honey just because it's a sweetener. They have not realized they do consume dietary supplements. We call them dietary supplements. They don't. Exactly the same happened to Brazilian people who consume their propolis. And the same happened to Turkish people in a specific area who consume their propolis. They collect propolis, they process this propolis, and they consume it. That's actually why all these products that I incorporated 3 years ago into my own brand, I brought to the United States, because I do consume them on that time for 14 years, that they are working stuff, not like that. Same time, I see a lot of people found this business very lucrative, and they step on American market with their own brand, and they invest a lot of
it's
money.
not good.
Yeah, and they start to compete to each other. And you know, American market, how it works, who pays more, those people won. But what really disturbed me, or let me say irritate, that people invest not in quality product, they invest in advertisement of that product. And you are right, not many people, including the United States, are familiar with Manuka honey. No, almost nobody understands the difference between certification of Manuka honey, like you said. Your relative recommend you UMF, and I stay on MGO certification ground because I met with UMF vice president being in New Zealand. What is UMF? It's abbreviation, it's acronym. Unique Manuka Factor Association. People used to go down the word association and they said UMF. Okay, unique Manuka factor. So I asked him, tell me, what stay behind UMF? Exactly, tell me as a human being to human being, what your certification states, how good your honey is. And he said, you know what? We just copied the name of our association and converted them in a trademark, because you see on the right upper corner of UMF, you see small 2 letters, TM, trademark. So they recorded this trademark under UMF, and they tried to tell me that this certification is great because they are comprise almost everybody, almost all beekeepers of New Zealand inside this association. And when I asked, is it for free? He said, oh no, now it's $20,000. So I said, if I want to put UMF on my honey, I have to be a member of your association? He said, sure. I stay opposite for paid for certification. I think that's not ethical and that's not true, because for $20,000, everybody can be Manuka Honey Factor Association member, and anybody can put UMF certification on their label.
But doesn't it have to be a certain number to be of the purest quality?
But nobody understands what purest quality means. After UMF, you can read 5, 8, 10, 12, 16, 20. What does it mean? I've been pretty much serious. I'm a straightforward man, and I ask UMF Association member. I met them on trade shows several times, and I asked the same question. Can you please explain me how to touch these numbers? What this number means? What's the difference between 10 and 16? And can you imagine? His answer was like a kindergarten level. Oh, MGO 16 is more potent than MGO 10. I said, really? Do you think I don't understand that 16 digit is more than 10? Tell me how it's more potent, in what way it's potent, what active ingredients your certification certified. And he just zipped and said, oh, well, yeah, we have to apply for such sort of information. I've been really shockingly surprised that a person came to big trade show with several hundred countries represented on that trade show. He doesn't know about how to explain in simple English about what UMF straits is. That's why I stick to MGO, which is responsible for dietary methyl-glyoxal. It's so easy. Methyl-glyoxal measured in milligrams per 1 kilo of honey. It stays very close for explanation to our gas. You can pump your car with 3 grades of gas. Here in America, we call it like regular, medium, and high grade. But there is explanation behind each of this line. It's 90, 87, 91, and 92. This is octane number. It explains you about energy. If you pump your car with 10 gallons of 91, you're gonna drive 250 miles. If you pump your car with the same 10 gallons of 84, which is responsible for regular gas, you're gonna drive 200 miles. There is no cheating. Yes, regular gas is cheaper than high grade, but having no harm to your car, you're just gonna drive less mileage, period. Exactly the same way is for Manuka honey. You can consume Manuka honey MGO 100, 6 teaspoons versus 1 teaspoon of Manuka honey 550. So easy to understand how much or how many milligrams of dietary methyl glyoxal you want to insert into your body. So accordingly, so many Manuka honey you have to consume on a daily basis. That's why I stick with MGO, because I am a real boy, I am a real man, and
Okay.
I like to touch knowledge in digits, in
I just don't
numbers.
want them to get I just don't want them to get lost in the explanation. So, I mean, I have it in my tea, I have it in a lot of things. I put it in my soup, I put it on my grapefruits because I bake my grapefruits, because I know that I feel better when I'm using it, you know. It's been known to cure viruses and so many other things, including cancer, but it has so many antiviral properties and everything else. So that's why I've incorporated it into my life. And I know that my life has gotten better because of it. But I don't want to confuse the audience by going into that. So I know that when you were trying to really reach out to people and share your products with people, they were giving you a hard time. We had discussed this because you didn't have like a medical degree, and they weren't really looking at your experience. And you know, I have a long history in medicine, but most of my knowledge that I share online, I mean, I have a nursing degree, I'm educated in holistic nutrition, but most of what I share with people comes from what I'm aware of living in a body with 3 autoimmune diseases. I think that experience with my gut health and all the thyroid, the Hashimoto's, the Raynaud's, and the PCOS, I think that living with that gives me a better hands up of sharing that with them and helping them, because I've lived in that body, like you with the cancer. So I don't necessarily come from that world where you have to have a degree in something to have a vast knowledge. My brother-in-law, like I shared, has been studying this for like the last 15 years because of his conditions to make him feel better. So, and I see the effects that it's had in his life. So I applaud you for seeking other people to really share your story with. You know, you reached out to me and said, I need your degree, help me. So it's really not my degree. People really need to hear your story and know that there are other alternatives to medicine, and hence alternative medicine, right? So people do use things on a regular basis. You know, we have people that are claiming things are non-GMO and, you know, things are kosher and things are this and you know, organic. And so can you speak to that? Because there's a lot of labels in America on food that really confuse people. And you've traveled to places like New Zealand and stuff, and when you look at their labels, there might be 1 or 2 or 3 things in their food, and you come to America and there's 25, and half of them you can't pronounce, and you really don't know what you're ingesting on a day-to-day basis. So what's been your experience with that?
Andra, your question is really volumed, big, deep, and let me start with only those information that I acquired from my own experience. As you said, I don't have any traditional medical degrees. I don't have certificates hanging on my wall behind me. That's why all my experience I grabbed from my experience. I'm sorry for that. That's why sometimes I call myself as a guinea pig, a laboratory rabbit or laboratory rat. I try everything on myself. It was a long path, long way. I try 1 teaspoon, I try 2 teaspoons. I try to learn how to understand how it works. Because you are right, a lot of people, and specifically here in America, they don't understand the difference between direct and indirect treatment. So talking about cancer, Manuka honey works indirectly, not directly. You cannot apply Manuka honey directly to your tumor and expecting, oh, it's gonna heal like immediately. It's not a scratch on your skin. It's not a wound. By the way, that's another topic, how you use Manuka honey for
Wounds,
treating
we've
your
been using
wounds.
it in wounds
Yeah,
for years.
for skin ulcer and for everything else.
The
So
cubitus.
today, let's concentrate it on our inner. So you said that you like to add Manuka honey into your tea, into your soup. And let me tell you that doing that, you do convert your Manuka honey into disaccharide, and everything goodness that you feel after that, it's, let me say, stay more on mental level. Because disaccharide, it's a formula for regular white sugar that you can buy from closest to your Walmart for $4 per 4 pounds. So unfortunately, I'm sorry to discover this truth, but it is a truth. And you know that Manuka honey, you know now, but your audience probably didn't. Manuka honey works only through these 3 I stated earlier ingredients: dietary methyl diacetyl, leptospirine, and dihydroacetone. And they all absorbed in our body through our throat. It works in symbiosis with our saliva only. That's why I do recommend to keep 1 teaspoon of Manuka honey in your mouth for 20, 30, 40 seconds. It's up to your individual amount of saliva to dissolve, to make such not chemical, probably a mechanical reaction, and to absorb all this goodness into your body. So the anti-cancerous activity of Manuka honey works through blood, not directly. Oh, if you have my polyps, I have to somehow deliver Manuka honey exactly on that polyp. No, it's not.
No, it's
There is no
indirectly.
way. You should understand, my dear friends, that our body been designed a couple million years ago. We're not discussing today who designed our body, but major principles of our body, of our stomach, is to protect us from infection. That's why Mother Nature invented stomach acid. First, it tried to kill all bad bacteria to protect us. Because coming back like 15,000 years ago, who knows what our predecessors eat? They used to eat everything. Look at the cat. If they smell it good, they eat it. And after that, they vomit or die. That's actually who we were that time. That's why Mother Nature was disturbed about high mortality rate, and it invented our stomach acid. Remember, stomach acid kills all bacteria regardless of good or bad. Same time, you probably heard about such sickness as dysbacteriosis. Not many people understand what dysbacteriosis means. You know, I know, but 99% they don't. That's a balance between bad bacteria and good bacteria.
Good bacteria.
Bad bacteria is responsible for just rotting our food. That's actually why we got gases. And good bacteria is responsible for indeed digestive process. So when your stomach inhabited with 60% of bad bacteria and only 40% of good bacteria, you are a sick person.
Yes.
Manuka
I
honey.
tell people this all the time. You know, the medical community says that your gut health is responsible for your brain, your heart, and your immunity. But I know from my own experience that it's connected to every part of your body. And when I say that, because people haven't caught up to that yet, where you and I are at, they must think I'm crazy. So, and I'm okay with that, but I'm, because I know that it's coming from a good place and it's coming from a place of love. But I was only able to help myself by understanding that fully, you know. So I want to get back to that. You want me to swallow this tea? It's terrible. It's not a good thing to leave in your mouth. It's a very strong taste. It doesn't taste like very regular honey. But I'm gonna try for you, Bogdan. I'm gonna try.
Oh
to
yeah,
keep it
thank you very much. Yeah, if you try it for me, okay, I feel good. But
Well, I'm gonna
sometimes,
try to keep it in my mouth for 30 seconds. It's very, I usually don't like honey. I don't like any sweeteners at all. I don't have sugar or anything in anything. I can eat something with sugar in it, like a chocolate bar, unfortunately, but I can't like have raw sugar in coffee or any of that stuff. I've never
that's
been
so
able to.
easy to fix it, Andrew. You can add 20 drops of real bee propolis, 30%, and you're gonna see how your Manuka honey changes. I do this every day. Well, I consume 40 drops, but you can start with 10 drops. And you can try and make your own measurements about how many drops you have to add to Manuka honey. But the principle you learn, and I hope the audience that currently looking our video interview learn too, that Manuka honey really presents sort of miracle. Regardless of the fact,
I
in
agree.
2006, it was discovered dietary methyl dioxyl by Dr. Thomas Hanley from Dresden University. Finally, in 2006, can you imagine? So now you do understand how it works, but still science has no clear answer how or why Manuka honey kills bad bacteria, remain good bacteria alive. Such mechanism nobody still discovered. I am good to explore such effect. I know that my bacteria is alive and bad bacteria is killed. What, or name me any synthetic antibiotic that works like that?
There are none.
None of them.
They kill the good bacteria.
If
They
your
do,
doctor, yeah,
they
please.
are starting to explore. I mean, Manuka honey, it's got to be about 10 years ago that they started using it on decubitus and ulcers, and they saw the benefits that wounds in the hospitals that were
Yeah.
stage 4 and stage 3 were getting better much quicker using the Manuka honey. So they do understand its properties where they want to apply it. But as you and I have discussed before, that medicine is a business, and if you get better, they're not making any money. So you really do. So that's kind of what I want people to really get from this. You know, you found a solution for you and you're sharing that. And some people aren't open to that because they want medical documentation and so on and so forth. But if I had a digestive cancer, I know what radiation and chemotherapy does to your body. I've personally gone through that. I'm a survivor as well. And I know the shape that it left my body in. And if someone came to me like yourself and said to me, this is what helped me, I know that I would be open to listen and to try it, certainly, you know, especially someone who's living 17 years later. And I would, if nothing else, certainly get on Google and find out everything I could about Manuka honey, you know? But unfortunately today, people, there is no black and white in anything. And our conversation, I really want people to take away that there are other alternatives to medicines and taking pills. I try to relieve my pain naturally with anti-inflammatory foods. I'm not big on taking pills and stuff like that. I never was. And I think you coming here today, giving them hope that there are other alternatives speaks volumes. And I want to impress upon other people that are using holistic form of health to have an open mind and explore different courses of action when people come to them. Whether you're a nutritionist, a doctor, a nurse, or you don't have a degree at all. It doesn't really matter if you're a coach and you're working with people, that you're open to other alternatives, because this really is about giving people the best quality care, what they deserve. This isn't about what's hanging on a wall. It is about the people. Making people feel better and live a quality life is about the people. And it's not really focused on that as much as it needs to be. It's become too business and too much politics for me. That's personally why I'm trying to.
Exactly the same. We stay on the same platform, the same base. I, as former immigrant from Ukraine, I see exactly the same what's going on inside American society. I do consider myself American now because I do really appreciate for everything this country gave to me. And that is more pain in my heart that I see our country is deteriorating. It just become rotten. Everybody running for money. Money. That's really scared me. People don't want to listen anything except on the end of the of the sentence, how much. That's really scared me. As I told you earlier, I try to make master classes and teach people absolutely for free, not $1 per minute, not $300 for an hour, just completely for free. How to consume those Mother Nature products that I am a specialist with. How to consume, because it's very important how to consume, how to navigate in today's ocean of Manuka honey supply. Because right now, yeah, you can find zillion brands of Manuka honey and everyone claim, oh, our Manuka honey is Manuka honey. Unfortunately, it's not. 80% is fake. I mean, it's not fake. It's coming from New Zealand. But to understand what Manuka honey is, you have to be in New Zealand in December, and you have to see how many floras is blooming the same time. And you cannot command bees fly only to Manuka bush. No, bees fly and take nectar from anything that produce nectar. That's why it's a very big difference in prices between Manuka honey and regular honey. Same time, American FDA, Food and Drug Administration, does not control Manuka honey or not Manuka honey. If you put Manuka honey 2 words on your label, so it's Manuka honey. Not many people understand a certification of Manuka honey. Since recently, manufacturers start to edit such words, marketing, monofloral Manuka honey, or raw Manuka honey. Raw Manuka honey, my dear friends, does exist only inside bee comb. Everything extracted from, it's not raw Manuka honey, it's processed Manuka honey. If you are familiar with Manuka honey and you bought Manuka honey from elsewhere, from your grocery store, from health food store, from your local pharmacy, you should see the structure of Manuka honey. Real Manuka honey, it always looks like a mashed potato. Why? Because it was filtered. Filtered honey cannot be, by definition, raw. Based on my understanding, the meaning of English word raw, it's a raw, it's unprocessed. Filtered honey, it's not raw, it's filtered. And to filter Manuka honey, manufacturer have a reason. Manuka honey crystallized in 6 months or less. It's become like a rock. That's why to make Manuka honey a honey, they must be filtered. They removed up to 80% of pollen that contains inside the honey, because pollen creates a point of sugar crystallization. If you remove pollen, sugar never crystallized. That's why Manuka honey has no expiration date, regardless of the fact FDA requires expiration date on each batch number. That's why people, specifically in the United States, they have no understanding about the difference between single barrel Manuka honey, for instance, like my brand Be Magic produces. So I call it, yeah,
I think there are a lot of people that do have a vast knowledge of this. So,
oh, that's great.
well, I mean, I think they do have a lot of vast knowledge of it. There are people like yourself out there. This is more for the common people like myself that don't that don't really that haven't studied it as intensively as you. And I just want to open people's mind to it. You spoke about it becoming a big business and people making money and you offering free classes. When I first came online, I was giving people a lot of free stuff. Free. I still do. I mean, I have 9 pages.
Andra, you can use me. You can use me completely for free, no compensation. If you have your master classes, you can charge whatever you want, and you can turn me on for 5 minutes and tell, listen, 5 minutes for Bogdan. Teach them about Manuka honey, or teach them about Shilajit, or teach them about bee propolis. He's a specialist. I am not pretty much familiar with that. I know in general word what is that, but Bogdan, you can ask him about anything about the substances. Turn me off and continue your classes. I am absolutely agree. I don't know why. I never called myself a good Samaritan.
Let me finish what I was saying. What I found was that giving it away, people devalued it. I don't know why we're in a place today. I'm a frugal shopper, okay? If I can get something of the same quality for less money, I'm gonna go with the less thing. And we're not talking about medicine here. We're talking about everything in general. You know what I mean? I make my own household cleaners with lemon and things like that because I don't want all those toxins in my body. But I'm gonna go for the best deal. So a lot of people think that if you're charging $39 for something, that it has less value than someone who's charging $5,000. They equate the finance with the value. And unfortunately, that's what business has become. And I did a little experiment where I used it was the same quality, same product, same thing I was offering. And when I charged more, people wanted it. And I don't understand why that is, but unfortunately, that's where we are. People equate high dollar value and high ticket items as being better quality. So it's been my experience. I mean, I give away a lot of free information and a lot of free knowledge because I want to help as many people as I can, like you do. Okay. what they do with that knowledge at the end of the day is up to them. But at least I know that I'm doing my part in giving back to society and trying to help. If they choose to buy something more or less, that's up to them. I don't get involved in that. I know what I'm talking about is real,
Mhm.
when, I'm in the weight loss business, and a lot of people preach these restrictive diets. I'm not here to demean what they're doing. I happen to know they don't work. I know that they're making people sicker, but I'm not going to spend quality of my time negating them. I'm just going to give people the better information. Does that make sense? That
Absolutely, you're right. I'm still learning. I'm still 17 years old. So
I
yeah,
know, and we got to get you back online and do things. So I think that you have to give people more credit, so and this is why, when I was online a long time before I made my first dollar, sad as it is, and I get paid for healthcare every day to assess people, but I was online a long time because there are people that have been out there for years and decades preaching very low quality information, and this is what people know. So if they believe in something different, it's almost like they have to say that they've been listening to that bad information, so it kind of, you know um
yeah, you're right.
and a lot of people walk away feeling like they're doing something wrong. That's why I finally started speaking out. People feel like they're not losing weight because they're doing something wrong, or it's genetics, and it's not. They've been misled, and they've been given some bad information, some good information, but some bad information, and um it's really not their fault. But so my message with you today is really to advocate for yourself and get more involved in your health, and look at other alternatives and things that are out there. And just because something is free doesn't make it of lesser value. So I think what you've shared today with us is very valuable. I know it works. I apply it to my life. I'm gonna have to keep it in my mouth now, but but this is how we learn. I think that everybody out there has some quality or some genius zone that they're really good at. Whether it's book smart or common sense. Some people are just really good at things that it doesn't come naturally to other people. And I think as a community, we need to come to a place where we're sharing those experiences more and more, and we're open to listen to insights of each other. I mean, that's what communication is really supposed to be, right? So I think
Yes.
we have to start really having those conversations, and listening fully, that's my take.
Yes, and thank you for giving me another chance, another audience, another number of people to alarm, to warn that alternative medicine does exist. It's not a fake, it's not an illusion. It really works. I am a live witness of that. That's why every time when the phone rang, I answer and says on a question, how are you? Said, still alive. Some people laugh, some people not, because I do. I'm still alive, and every morning I am proud, well, of myself sometimes, of my family, thanks to my wife, of course, who supported me all this time, all this endeavor, because without her permission to collect all our family money, I never been able to fly around the globe, sit and live in this country and that country and collect this information on a spot, not from internet, not virtually, not only reading articles, talking to people, meeting people, looking at the process, how they do this Manuka honey, how they make separation, how those people cheat on us, how those people are honest with us. So I do know that industry from inside. That's why it's really creates sort of pain on my heart when I see on shelves, let me say, propolis tincture or extract made in United States. I know that United States is not commercially collect propolis. In United States, propolis, raw materials is not coming to that made in America propolis tincture. 99% of American propolis tincture manufacturers coming from China. I've been to China. I saw that. I saw how they collect this propolis. I know what propolis is, and I know they do violate all possible regulations to collect this propolis. And American company proudly made in America. That's good. But what you did in America, you just put this liquid into glass jars to close it, pack it, and to say made in America. Maybe it's constitute made in America, but the raw material is coming from China, and FDA does not require manufacturer to tell on a label where raw material is came from. That creates some sort of cognitive dissonance in my mind. How it's possible? That's Chinese product, but it says made in America, and customers, us, who have no idea what propolis is, they buy this product and pay American standard prices for them. And I consider that a cheat. It's not a decent business. It's a gray business. I don't like that. If I know that Manuka honey is coming from New Zealand, and I know how people cheat on us, and nowadays you're gonna find Australian Manuka honey. Thanks God they put word Australian Manuka honey on a label. So it let people understand that this Manuka honey is from Australia. But there are two different DNA bushes growing in Australia and in New Zealand. That's why on the backside of any Australian Manuka honey, which is much cheaper than New Zealand Manuka honey, you can read in a very small script, jelly bush honey. But who reads in a small script on the backside of a label? Nobody.
So are you telling me,
1%.
but are you telling me these ones that are coming from China? Because I don't think people really pay attention enough to labels, if I'm being honest. I pay more attention now than I ever did, but that's my business. Not everybody does, even though you tell them read labels and what's in there. But I mean, so this is my question. The one that comes from Australia and the one that comes from New Zealand, even though they're from different bushes, they're coming from those, they're coming from the bees. So is it really Manuka honey? So
No.
So
it's not.
So they're not buying Manuka honey. They're buying. So Manuka
yeah,
honey.
Andra, yeah, my message is sooner or later, we're gonna see on our shelves Israeli Manuka honey, Brazilian Manuka honey, French Manuka honey, German Manuka honey. Because
No,
in our
I
mind,
get that concept, but like when we have a generic and we have you know, when you want to buy a medicine, right? You can either get the generic or the brands, right? So Manuka is becoming more of the generic form of the main brand. So the way I'm interpreting, like anything can say Manuka, just like anything can say ibuprofen or Tylenol and stuff like that. Those are just brand names. So it's going to be commercialized where Manuka is going to be more of a brand name than actually the actual product.
exactly, you said that.
Because I don't want everybody's eyes glazing over on us.
But at the same time, as you said, Advil, All Alive, there are generics of same product. But here in United States, you have no rights to name generic Advil or A+ Advil. No, your generic should carry another name. Medical doctors understand that that product is a generic of Advil or ibuprofen. Yes, but you cannot tell people, oh, that's ibuprofen generic one. It's not. It should carry a different name. And you were absolutely right. Manuka honey became brand. So people, when see Manuka honey on the front face side of the label, subconsciously, they think, oh, that's Manuka honey. They mute or just make blank the first word, Australian. They read only Manuka honey. And specifically when the tag price set double down versus to real Manuka honey. That's what I try to teach people. You are teaching on yourself. You are not consuming Manuka honey. That's a problem. It's a business, you are right. And people name their honey Manuka honey without remorse. I want to name my Manuka honey, Manuka honey. I want to name my honey, Manuka honey. Well, my honey is not Manuka honey. Let me call it Chinese Manuka honey. Do I have a right? Of course. Can I register trademark as this? Yes. So Chinese Manuka honey, great. I name my honey Chinese Manuka honey. Or if I live in Brooklyn, tomorrow I'm gonna start producing honey named Brooklyn's Manuka honey. I think it's a cheating.
Not on my watch. Listen, this has been really great. You're gonna have to, unfortunately, I do have another meeting that I have to get into. So
Got it.
we are gonna say goodbye to these people today, and we're going to revisit because you know you are very educated in lots of other brandings and things like that, and I'd really like to feature you and have you speak more in my holistic group. And because people there do use, they've been using oils for years, you know, black pepper for pain and things like that. So they do, there's a lot of people out there that are moving to natural and really looking for those alternatives. So I want them to realize that they're not on the wrong path, that you, they can't hurt you. Now that there are some medicinal things that you can take with certain medications too. So you do have to be aware of that because they do impact the medication and the dosages. So people do need to be aware that
people stay with Andra channel. Stay with her and you're gonna learn real things.
But listen, it was great having you here today. I'm going to say goodbye to all of you guys, and you will see Bogdan again. Him and I are on the same page in a lot of ways with herbals and natural medicine and things like that. So guys, thanks for listening in. I'm glad we were able to share this with you, and I hope you're having a marvelous Sunday. Till next time, take care.